Hello, welcome to the course of Introduction to C++. We know that the C++ is an object-oriented programming developed after C programming. So today we are going to discuss some of the introductory issues of C++. So what we are going to discuss today, just focus. So what exactly the history of C++? C++ is a high-level computer programming language developed by Jarnet Stroustrups of Bell Laboratories in the early 1980s. It is based on the traditional C language, but with added object-oriented programming and other capabilities. So basically, if we see the C++, so C++ is something advanced of C language, added with object-oriented programming properties and some additional capabilities. So what exactly the C++ is? C++ is a general purpose programming language that was developed as in the enhancement of the C language to include object-oriented paradigm. It is an imperative and compiled language. Yes, as far as the C programming, the C++ is also the compiled language. We need to compile C++ from source code, from machine code, from source code to convert into the machine code. So C++ is a middle level language, rendering it the advantage of programming, that is the low level means drivers and kernels, and even higher level applications, that is the games, GUI, desktop apps. The basic syntax and code structures of both C and C++ are same because both the languages are required the source code which we have written in the middle level language. We need to compile and then we need to get the machine code to execute the C and C++ programming. So as far as C++ is concerned, there are some features and key points. So what exactly the key points are and why the C++ is so famous as an object-oriented programming language? Number one is C++ is simple. So it is a simple language in the sense that programs can be broken down into logical unit and parts and has a rich library supports and variety of data types. Yes, whatever the data types supported by C programming, all the data types can be also supported by C++. Another feature is machine independent. C++ executable is not platform independent. However, they are machine independent. Then mid-level language, rich library support, then speed of execution, then pointer and direct memory access. And one of the most important feature of C++ is object-oriented. What exactly the object-oriented is? It is one of the strongest point of the language which sets it apart from C. So C++, when we are saying that the C++ is different than C, so this object-oriented feature can involve which sits as a part from C. Object-oriented support helps C++ to make maintainable and extensible program. That is, large-scale applications can be built in the C++. Then procedure code becomes difficult to maintain as the code size grows. And C++ is a compiled language. So C++ is a compiled language and contributing to its speed. So these are some features and key points of the C++. Applications of C++. C++ finds varied usage in the application, such as operating system and system programming, browser, graphics and game engines, database engines like MySQL, MongoDB, and cloud, as well as distributed systems. Now we see the interesting facts about C++. The name of C++ signifies the evolutionary nature of the changes from C. So plus plus is the increment operator. So that C is as an evolutionary nature, but the plus plus is representing for the increment. So obviously C++ is one of the predominant language from the development of all kind of technical and commercial software. C++ introduces object-oriented programming. So not present in C. Like other things, C++ supports the 4 primary features of object-oriented programming like encapsulation, polymorphism, abstraction, and inheritance. So C++ got the object-oriented programming features from Simula67 programming language. A function is a minimum requirement for C++ program to run. So obviously, at least main function is required to execute this C++ program. So yes, obviously, these are the interesting facts about C++. Now we need to see the basics, because if here we want to become the proficient in any programming language, so obviously, firstly, we need to understand the basics of that particular language. So C++ having also the syntax as a C is there, then basic input output is there, then comments, data types, variable, then the scope of variables as well. Yes, as you know, the local global variables, how the variables as having the scopes, then operators, looping like the while loop, do while loop, for loop. Yes, these all are supporting by C++. Decision making statements like the if else if, nested if, switch case, all these are the basics which are supported to the C++ programs. Now we see the data types in a C++. If we see the data types in a C++, so obviously whatever the data types supported by C language, all the data types supported by C++. So if we are divided the data types in 3 parts, so primary, derived, and user defined. So primary having integer, character, boolean, then floating point, double floating point, void, and void characters. Deriveds are also having function, array, pointer, and the reference. And user-defined data type is like class, structure, union, enum, and type definition. So we see first primitive data types. These data types are built-in or predefined data types and can be used directly by the user. Declare variables. Example, int, char, float, boolean, etc. So first, what exactly the integer is? Integer is the complete number, the whole number. If we need to represent any number as 1, 2, 100, yes, 150, the complete number, so that numbers are represented as an integer. If we want to represent the characters like A, B, C, or the set of the character called as a string, then we are representing as a character data type. Then boolean means yes, no, true, false, 0, 1. So if we wanted to represent the data type in that particular format, so boolean is there. Then floating point, yes, obviously the floating point is there, 1.5, 2.5, yes, some floating point numbers we are wanted to represent, then floating point we are using data type. Then double floating point means the floating point for the maximum length or for the lengthy floating point numbers. Then valueless or void. Yes, it's very interesting data types when the valueless part is there. But yes, we are wanted to declare some data types or return value. Then obviously we are representing that number as a void. Then derived data types. Derived data types are the types that are derived from the primitive. Just obviously, whatever we are discussing in the first. So our built-in data types are referred to as a derived data types. So this can be three types, namely function, array, and pointer. So function is the block of code which perform the particular task. Array is the collection of similar data items, and pointer is a variable which representing the address of the another variable. So obviously these are some derived data types. And the abstract data types. So yes, these are the data types which are defined by the user itself. So we can say that these are the user defined data types, like the structure as defining the class. So C++ provides the following user defined data types. So obviously class. So C++ supports object oriented programming. So first abstract data type or user defined data type which are supported by C++ is class. Then structure. Structure is the collection of heterogeneous data types, or we can say that it's a user defined data types. And third one is the union. So these are the parts today we are discuss. I just want to revise something, revision. So first we see the history of C++. Then we are discuss about the introductions of the C++. Then interesting facts about the C++. Then what are the features and key points of the C++ today we discuss. After that, we see the data types of the C++. So there are 3 data types: preemptive data types, derived data types, and abstract data types. And we see the types of the preemptive, derived, and abstract in short. So this is all about today. Thank you. Thank you very much.